gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the opportunity to serve our community here in the city council meeting. I pray that you be with us, give us wisdom, give us peace, and bless everyone that is working on behalf of our city. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will have a closed meeting tonight after the regular meeting. In your package, you have the minutes from the 20th meeting. The motion approved.
Motion.
Second. Any questions, corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Chairman is not represented. Finance,
Don't have anything tonight?
Howard,
Nothing at this time.
any resource?
We did have a meeting last week, and took care of some stuff, and we'll bring that up in the next meeting, but other than that, we're good.
Police,
I think the police department's doing great, that's all I gotta say.
street,
At the request of my neighbors, I'm gonna pass tonight.
really?
Yeah.
Must be the
Thank
season.
you.
Stormwater. Will pass twice?
I'll pass twice. We have some issues, but we're gonna have to deal with those within the committee.
Yes. Departmental reports, fire?
I have ordered the tranquilizer guns that was approved for the, one for the police department and one for the animal patrol. It'll be probably 4 to 5 weeks before we get them, but in doing research, they seem to be the more quality type that uses a 22 blank and it allows you to dial in. They're rated for 0 to 70 yards, so that gets you a pretty good distance on them. So they have a training videos and some different training programs that can go along with it. We're trying to go down through here. We did get a notice from the Department of Health and Senior Services, which is also the Bureau of EMS, that we are now a certified and accredited training entity for continuing education unit and any type of first responder program, EMT program, things like that, through the state of Missouri, which is a big plus for us. That means any of the training we did just helps to recertify and helps to keep people's skills alive through an accredited program. So, we got that. I'd like to thank the Kent Police Department. We had a fire at the Compress Properties last night, and secondary one today. The one last night is what fueled the one today, and I'll explain that in a minute, but police on patrol, he'd seen the smoke and we got notified, which was a big plus. And it was in the new warehouse, which is not sprinkled, but it didn't damage the building. And it was a pretty good sized fire in cotton, like 75 bales probably. The labor intensive part of it was having to lay about 500 feet hose in there to get to the fire. So it took us a little bit of time. In doing that, they had to bring the bales out through the other warehouse, and we suspect what happened was probably an ember or spark that was coming down through there may have gotten into some of the other bales. And we got a call about right before 8 o'clock this morning, and that was in the sprinkler house. There was about 100 bales in there, so you got about 175 bales of cotton that are out of sight now. Hopefully It'll burn up over the next couple of days. But there again, the building itself was not damaged. We got a hold of the mayor, and they do have the sprinkler company coming in to reset the sprinklers before we get a good hard freeze. Street department was very instrumental in getting us their skid steering, where we could, the employee of the Cotton Warehouse Management, they got the bales to the dock and dumped them off the dock where street department, Keith Westfield, could get the skid steer, get them over to a pile, and that helped out really well. Hopefully, told them to keep their time, cotton bales are insured, we can maybe recoup some of the cost on that. Other than that, we're doing really well on getting alleyways cleared. And, that's moving along at this time. We did get the owner of the railroad property has taken bush hog and cleared a lot of that back up through there, and looks a lot better than it has. So, still haven't seen no service workers yet, though. We got a lot of trash along that fence. But anyway, that's pretty well all I have tonight. Any questions? Yes.
I've been kind of looking a little bit into the tranquilizer gun that we're looking at, and I'm kind of seeing complications that I don't think we were aware of. One of them being we're going to have a controlled substance that we use to tranquilize the animals. It's going to have to be in a certain environment, and
Yeah, you can't let it get too hot, too cold.
and so now what we're talking about, we're going to have it in 2 places, and we're going to have a local veterinarian that's going to have to sign off on us and deal with us a little bit there.
From what I've read on it, there's not been anything, the companies that, we're looking at a company called New Dart.
Okay, is it, looking at some of the complications, would we be wiser to, I don't know if it's possible, but to purchase one gun right now, let the police keep it, because the police are always open until we get this all
Well, I've
down.
already made the purchase based on the past approval.
Okay, so it's too late then.
Well, the only thing is, animal control can have one handy with them in their vehicle and probably be able to use it faster than what we have to go to PD. It'd be hard to assign that gun to one officer and have him keep it, because he may be off when they have an issue. So animal control having one handy would probably be pretty beneficial.
I'm not sure though if they're gonna be able to have the vial with them though, is the problem. That's what
I'll call the company and do a little more research.
That's my concern, is that we'll have to keep it in one place to keep it as a usable substance.
Well, they have 2 different, we purchased 2 guns, and then there's what they call a kit. There's a kit that's set up with certain size syringes and stuff like that. Also has some training darts in there as well to practice with. So let me call them, I can call them and get back with you and find out what they say.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
We've also looked at, maybe in the future, there are several models out there of what they call a net gun.
It's a lot more expensive though, right?
They're a little bit, what they've got, some I don't think they're quite that expensive.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Police,
I don't have anything for the public this time.
street,
Go over a couple of things. Construction season's over, we've got all that taken care of.
Construction season's over.
We will, I'm not saying if the weather turns good that we won't do some more patching and stuff. But, the contractors work. With the freezing temperatures, it makes it a lot harder to bring a cold patch to stick and so. On the back of your street department report. I guess I'll emphasize this for just a minute. We've got a couple of pieces of equipment out of service. The cat loader, one of our mainstay pieces of equipment went down last week. The air brake system is messed up. It won't hold air and therefore it won't release, so it is in the parking lot. We're waiting on a mechanic to get here. We've got hopes that they'd get here today, probably get here tomorrow. There's a calibration thing in there to look at, so if we don't get it fairly quick, maybe we'll, I'm gonna, you want to do it, I don't know if you can do the calibration that they said was in there, so. The sweeper was out of service for, I think it was 14 work days. Got the technician here from the company. With his computer, he couldn't locate the electrical problem in it. He had to get online with the factory technician, and they spent about 4.5 hours finding it. Because there were so many fault codes in the machine that every time they'd go to one, you know, they might reset it or whatever, and then they'd go somewhere else, and this type of thing. Finally got the part fixed, got it overnighted in. The sweeper ran Thursday afternoon and Friday and yesterday, and I lost count without going back and counting the sheets, but I think when we ran a dump truck with the sweeper to cut down the time of it being in transit. The sweeper can dump 3 dumps of leaves on each dump truck, and I believe we hauled 15 loads in those 3 days out to the compost, plus when the sweeper would come in to get water or various things, you know, so there was some more done. And you go look at the streets today and you're gonna say, you really did all that much? Yes, we did. But with the rain over the weekend, we got a lot more leaves down on the ground. Plus our good citizens that help us out by cleaning their whole yard still and taking all the leaves to the street. We've had several visits with some of those people over that. The camera truck,
Excuse me, is there an ordinance against,
yes.
how do we enforce it?
It's part of what we're gonna deal with committee-wise. I don't think there's anything that we can do at this point, but, we have something in the, in our,
What does the ordinance say?
Put leaves in the yard, in the street.
Or grass.
Can't put any yard, leaves in the yard.
it has no teeth to it.
What's the, what's the
What? We've had, discussions on who can write tickets and such, and there's no, Victor can't write tickets for it. That's, I'm sorry?
I mean, he's not issued a ticket book and neither are the property maintenance, that's what come up the other day.
We issue citations on property maintenance, citations all the time.
After 10 days,
Yeah.
but 10 days, leaves are either gonna be
But
in during the
they
day.
write the citation, turn it into the city, and I sign the ticket.
So
is it an enforceable
Yes,
ordinance?
yes, it is.
All right, so may I explain how to enforce it?
I guess I may be unclear on this. You sign the tickets, who writes those tickets?
On property maintenance, it's usually property maintenance officers. They don't write summons like, they don't have a summons book like a police officer does, but they do have the notice of violation, which they send to the landowner and the property owner. And then after 10 days, then I sign it. They turn those over to me and I sign them and file with the court.
Can the police officers write a ticket?
Yes.
We also have something in our stormwater
Same
management
day?
act as well.
Same day for the police officers?
Sure. Yeah, this isn't like property maintenance. I mean, problem solved.
I mean, my biggest question here is, for the police department to issue tickets, we're basically deal with criminal matters, and this is not really a criminal matter.
And,
It's an infraction.
well, most criminal matters on city ordinance violations are infractions. And I understand that, I think it probably should be a property maintenance who.
Is there a problem with
issues
issuing a property maintenance a ticket book and let them write them?
Not to my knowledge,
That's what's been asked, is if we could do that. It was stopped, years ago they could, but it was stopped at some time because there was something about an audit and they wanted to keep up with the numbers in the books. But, I mean, that would be real easy to do. If we could work that out, I think that would be the best.
Well, I think if it worked out, then if they're issued a citation book, because the course administrators want most things in city court to be on a uniform traffic ticket or a uniform citation. They can be issued a book and you keep up with it just like anybody, just like a police officer keeps up with it, you just keep up with it.
But,
Manage it.
but at the same time, I think the police department has realized, just like the other day when this came a complaint from in, you got two part-times and this is the end of the year, they're taking their vacation. There's no one available, so you have to resort to someone else that could write that summons or that ticket citation.
Well, the point I'm making is that there's nothing in the law, there's nothing in the ordinance which says the police officer or property maintenance officer has to write the tickets. And that's just something that needs to be worked out administratively.
So if somebody's not available with code, then the police department would be the logical next step. Is that correct?
That's,
Again, that needs to be, that's something that needs to be worked out administratively. But there's nothing in the law, nothing in the code that prohibits anybody authorized to write tickets from writing the ticket.
can the part-time maintenance officers write tickets too?
Sure.
So always one of them will be on duty, right?
No, you got two part-time. They may not be on duty. I mean, on Fridays, they don't work because they're on the 29-hour rule. So if it happened on Friday, and you had Victor off, like the other day, he was in a series of meetings, the light and water, he wasn't available.
Well, I think it's something that can be worked out. We can get it done.
Yeah,
Pretty simple.
yeah. It don't sound like it's real complicated.
Police and code enforcement can just work it out.
Brenda, somebody can write it. Call me, I'll write it.
I'll get there, I'll just get you, we'll look at this about the
Sure.
citation. Look, we'll get that.
Yeah, we can get it worked, we can work something out.
Good.
On the camera truck, it's in, just across the river in Beavers, from St. Louis. We sent it up to, we're having generator problems. The truck itself runs off that, but all of the camera equipment, everything runs off a separate generator. It's on a special type of electrical cycling stuff. I thought they had some parts ordered when they came in, they don't work. They're trying to find us a new generator. The problem is the truck's old enough. Honda's the engine, they changed all the engines, they don't make that particular one anymore. The generator's a little bit bigger, anyway, it won't fit the hole. So we're not back to square one, we're not out of business, but we're working, we're scrambling, trying to make and modify it, and get that back in service. We're working on the Volkswagen grant I told you all about previously, where we can replace trucks at 50%, or we're just replacing the engine in one for 75%, with the grant paying for that much. So we're looking to see what we can do to replace Barney. $360,000, $380,000 truck for half price seems to make sense for us to present to you all, work out some options on financing. We purchased a new bed for one of our trucks a couple of years ago, just had the radiator built in it, and, you know, it's in pretty good shape, got new tires on it. So we're looking at possibly just replacing that engine in it, even though it's 20 years old. We think we'll still have a very good serviceable truck for very, very few dollars in that matter. And then if possible, depending on the funding, we're filling out all the paperwork, go ahead and replace one of our other small dump trucks, a single axle, high side. We'll be prepared to see then, when we get prices in, where we stand on all that. Snipe Slough, in Buffalo are set to be cleaned out on a USDA grant through the county commission. They've gotten started a little bit on Snipe Slough. They've mowed up to 8th Street where they can get to the ditch. Again, we've got structures built and privacy fences built on the drainage ditch right away. Don Collins met with David Ross yesterday and they walked a lot of it. I was with Don this morning and we drove around and looked at quite a bit of it. And unfortunately, to do the city a decent job of cleaning out that ditch and draining it, they're gonna have to get some cooperation from some landowners to get their privacy fences down. Or, I mean, it'll still help us, but here in the city, we'll still have big shoals and actually some trees still growing in it that they can't even mow. So they've done a little bit of digging just off the north side of the north bypass. Then went back down and started at 412 down there at the irrigation companies and are working their way back around to give the private property owners a chance to get their fences down. So hopefully we'll make some progress on that. We figure we'll probably run into the same situation when we get on Buffalo, but that's going to be a little bit farther down the road. But are making some progress on getting that stuff done too. 3rd Street, we're still working on a little bit of paperwork on that. As soon as we can get that done, the contractor's ready to go. The pipe could be here, I think, by Monday. So I'm not saying will be, I mean, we're just depending on, you know, getting it done, but I think it could be available as soon as Monday to get this done. So we're seemingly making some good progress along the roads here. Get things done. That's all I have. Thank you, Brent.
Well, the next thing on there is it says approved Big River telephone service or New Wave continuation. I guess most everybody here knows that we have New Wave service right now. And some representatives from New Wave were supposed to be here tonight to present their bid. We have a bid from Big River. But right before quitting time today, New Wave called and said that they could not do what they had proposed that they could do, and so they backed out. So
Where do we stand with the existing contract?
they're gonna let us out of it.
We got that in writing.
Not yet.
That's twice they told us, so you've been after them to get them in writing.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna happen.